Now at 10, the Miami School Board takes action concerning an elementary school principal. Plus, residents in Thayer, Kansas start to see some light at the end of the highway. And Grove voters will decide whether to fund a bond for the fire and police departments.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Some members of the public showed their support tonight for a Miami grade school principal as the school board voted on her future. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. The Miami School Board accepted the resignation of Rockdale Elementary Principal Andrea Berry. She had previously been placed on administrative leave without any public explanation. At a school board meeting earlier this month, members of the public called for greater transparency of the situation. At tonight's meeting, the members spent much of the time in a closed session before announcing their decision to the public. Afterward, Berry did not answer questions about why she was fired, but she did express gratitude to the community for their support.
Being principal of Wilson and Rockdale Elementary has truly been one of my greatest joys. I wish that I could have had the opportunity to say goodbye to my students and staff, but unfortunately I've been unable to do so. I am proud of the work that we've done here, and I'm proud of what I've accomplished here, and I am sad to go.
What's happening lately has caused a lot of upheaval in people, sometimes even kind of pitting against each other, and it's just not a good environment at times.
About 20 members of the public attended that meeting in support of Berry. A Jasper County court sentences a man in connection with the shooting death of his 17-year-old daughter. Todd Hayes received a sentence of life in prison for the second-degree murder of Prayer Nicholson in January of 2022. A jury last month said Mays acted with deliberation in that shooting. Prosecutors had originally charged Mays with first-degree murder, but the jury could not reach a unanimous decision. Mays was also sentenced to a consecutive 15-year sentence on an armed criminal action charge. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for our first look at the weather.
All right, temperatures pretty good for us today. Again, near 60, actually right at 60. We started at 50 during the morning hours. Average high is 46. Average low is 27, so well above that mark. Let's go ahead and look outside. It's 55 in Joplin. Dry for now, not for long. Pittsburgh is also sitting at 55 degrees. Everybody across the board into the mid-50s, but look at the rain really starting to increase down through northeastern Oklahoma and then out across our far western counties, lifting north and east. Already a few showers on the southwest side of the metro, but pretty good rain just south of Miami, Grand Lake, just south of Neosho, Pineville, Bentonville. All this is heading north and east as we go through the next several hours, so everybody's going to get light to moderate rain. Bands rolling through tonight, so 90 to 100% coverage across the region. We're going to talk more about this and look at our next storm system coming up here in just a bit.
See you then. Some good news for Thayer, Kansas. KDOT has announced the reopening of US 169 to traffic from Thayer south to US 400. That 7-mile highway section had been closed since July to add passing lanes and replace the mainline pavement. Some business owners in Thayer said business suffered because customers didn't have easy access to them. Work will continue along the highway, so drivers in that area should still drive with caution. A Carthage, Missouri-based insurance agency is moving its headquarters to a new facility in town. Specialty Risk Insurance is building a new $5.3 million facility. This can be just off I-44, allowing the agency to grow even more in the future. They expect it to create more than 200 jobs. Specialty Risk Insurance also has locations in Joplin, Sarcoxie, Nevada, and elsewhere. The state of Kansas is handing out grants to develop small communities. It's part of the Strategic Economic Expansion and Development, or SEED, grant program. 2 organizations in our area are receiving grants. The Woodson County Revitalization Project gets $25,000. The Galena Public Library gets just under $17,000. On the ballot next month in Grove, Oklahoma is a proposition to increase the sales tax by 0.6%. The new sales tax would go solely into funding new buildings for the Grove Police and Fire Departments. The departments have been in the same buildings for the last 40 years. With the population of Grove increasing, the city says the need for better facilities is higher than ever.
So we've outgrown our current facility, and we also have maintenance issues with the building. The building's 40 plus years old, so obviously we can't expand. The city continues to grow. Our department's going to have to continue to grow. We're out of room.
The city says this tax would be in place for 15 years to pay off the new facilities. If passed, the projects would begin in the months following the vote. The Chetopa City Library is hosting Christmas Fun Days. Kids could come in and decorate Christmas stockings, make Christmas ornaments, watch Christmas movies, or read Christmas books. There was even hot cocoa and plenty of other holiday cheer.
Santa giving us presents. The part of joy and how family gets to get together.
We also are available every Friday. Our kids don't have school here, so there's craft activities set up, there's books, they can come in, get on the computers, and then we just do like holiday activity days.
Kids of all ages could attend. Kids under 10 had to be accompanied by an adult. Later in sports, another big night for basketball in the four states. John has highlights of the night's matchups in just a few minutes. But first, a lone gunman kills 14 people and injures more than 20 at a Prague university.
Light up this season during the insurance today.
Officials say a student opened fire at a university in Prague, killing at least 14 people and injuring more than 20 in the Czech Republic's worst mass shooting ever. A U.S. State Department spokesperson says the agency is not aware of any American citizens injured or killed and that it is monitoring the situation closely. Bradley Blackburn has the latest.
The deadly shooting happened at a university building located in a busy tourist area in Prague's Old Town.
We had the sirens, like 4 or 5 gunshots that were very loud. People screaming, people running for cover.
Authorities say a gunman opened fire from the roof of the Faculty of Arts building of Charles University.
We barricaded the door. We put all the, desks against the door.
Police say they later found the body of the gunman, a 24-year-old student at the school. Authorities found a large quantity of ammunition beside him, but it wasn't clear if he was shot in a battle with officers or killed himself. This man says he was texting his daughter who was at the school when chaos erupted.
I was giving their instruction like not to be next to the window, lay down, barricade the door, and I was trying to stay in contact with her.
Students were warned to stay put, while some desperately took cover on a ledge. Others jumped to safety. The gunman is also suspected of killing a man and an infant girl less than a week ago, and it's believed he killed his father earlier Thursday before tragedy unfolded at the university. Officials say there's no indication of any political or terrorist motive for the attack. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
The Czech government declared Saturday a national day of mourning. Nearly 7,900 migrants were apprehended every day last week across the southern border. That's up from an average of 6,000 a day in October. Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed a bill into law this week that will allow state troopers and sheriff's deputies to charge and arrest migrants for illegally crossing the border. Governor Abbott also says he will continue busing and now flying migrants to sanctuary cities. Several civil rights groups have sued the state of Texas to try to stop the new immigration law. An Oklahoma judge has exonerated a man who spent nearly 50 years in prison for murder, the longest serving inmate to be declared innocent of a crime. Now freed, Glenn Simmons says his fight taught him resilience and tenacity. He wants to make an impact on the criminal justice system and help others still in prison. Jennifer Pierce has his story.
It's been 2 months since 70-year-old Glenn Simmons was released from prison. He recently learned there would not be a retrial for the 1974 murder of an Edmond liquor store employee. The judge dismissed the murder charge Tuesday.
Validation and vindication has finally happened,
Simmons admitted there was doubt throughout his fight for freedom.
I'd be lying if I say I didn't, I mean, you can't go through it like that and not have your doubts.
The attorneys who believed in his innocence stood by him outside the Oklahoma County Courthouse. Simmons wants to do the same for others who don't have the same kind of support.
I got a passion for criminal justice reform, and trying to get into justice reform and, rethinking how we do criminal justice.
In the meantime, Simmons has reconnected with family.
I met all my great-grandkids and everything for the first time. So it's been exciting. It's been beautiful.
And he's slowly adjusting to life outside prison.
So he's out and he's free. That's great, but there's still a lot of challenges going on. He's got to have a way to pay for rent and food and clothes and so forth.
Simmons has started a GoFundMe account to help pay for those everyday living expenses. Coming up, we debunk some myths surrounding the winter solstice.
Plus, we are going to get some rain rolling in over the next few hours. Details coming up.
Services at Bath, Naylor, and Frisco.
Only at Casey's.
Well, temperatures fairly mild for this time of the year today, right around 60 degrees during the afternoon. Of course, we had the clouds. We had a couple little sprinkles, a couple random little showers at times, but the rain's really going to pick up as we go through the overnight hours. You can see it's already moved into Seneca, Missouri, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Roads are wet, so if you are going to be out tonight, be careful. All right, look at the rain increasing. Southeastern Kansas, especially northeastern Oklahoma, northwestern Arkansas. And where you see the yellows, that's where we're getting a little bit more moderate rainfall. Very light rain through most of the metro, and then it really picks up. So here's Miami, Grand Lake J, so Neosho, Seneca, rain picking up down through Mack County and then into northwest Arkansas, Benton County. And all this is going to head off toward the north and to the east as we head through the overnight hours. So decent rainfall amounts, which is good. There's a little bit more moderate rain within this band than what it looked like there was going to be earlier today. So we definitely need the rain. All right, wave 1 pushing through tonight, tomorrow morning. Wave 2 out just off the coast of California. That is a much stronger system, and that's going to roll in as we go into Christmas Eve. All right, rain chances high tonight. And then we kind of taper off tomorrow afternoon to just random showers and sprinkles. Let's walk you through time. Bands of moderate, light to moderate rain. Here's midnight, so here in about 2 hours. And then light to moderate rain continues, 4 a.m. Heaviest rain's out of here by 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. Then just light showers remain. And then most of the day dry after that point in time, except a random shower and a couple little sprinkles. Heaviest rain by far is going to be tonight into tomorrow morning. How much could we get? I think this model is shooting a hair high. I think most of us are going to be kind of quarter, upwards to a half an inch, but there may be some isolated 3/4 inch amounts. Day planner 9 a.m. rain 53, 55 by 1, and then 57 by 5 p.m. All right, looking down the road, here's our next stronger system. Watch what this system does. Kicks out, so now we're into Christmas Eve, slowly pushes in Christmas Day, and then just kind of hangs out in the Central Plains Tuesday and Wednesday. That ushers in cooler air. Behind it also keeps some showers around. So let's take a look at it. Saturday, almost really nice. It's going to be cloudy, but look at this, 66, 7, 8, pushing 70 in spots. Here comes the rain. Saturday night, heavy at times, into Sunday morning. Sunday afternoon, Christmas Eve, the rain will be a little bit lighter, but we're still going to have showers out there all the way into Christmas morning. Then as that colder air works in, we'll have to actually see on Christmas Day if we can get a few snow showers in here, or at least a little rain-snow mix. 58 Christmas Eve, rain chances, of course, very high. 42 and dropping Christmas Day with some showers across the area. All right, 58 tomorrow, 66 on Saturday, 58 Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, cooler, high of 42, and then sunshine returns the second half of next week.
Yeah, winter officially arrived less than an hour ago, and now the temperatures don't look like winter.
Going in the opposite direction.
Thanks, Doug. Since today is the winter solstice, it means after today, daylight is going to increase as we near the warmer months. There are some myths about solstices and equinoxes. Nicolette Zangara explains.
The legend is, on an equinox, which happens in the fall and spring, items like brooms and eggs can stand upright on their own due to the pull of gravity changing. Well, as you can see, this broom standing upright on a solstice debunks those myths. But where does it come from? This old wives' tale dates back hundreds of years, but the exact origin is unknown. The reality of these myths is simple physics. The bristles of a broom are acting as a tripod for the handle, and egg balancing is a difficult task, but both are possible 365 days out of the year, not just on an equinox. Gravity does change from place to place, but it's such a minor change that it's not noticeable.
There is some very slight difference because the same mass does not exist all around the earth. But the difference is not enough to affect things like standing an egg up or standing a broom up on its end.
Like any old wives' tale, there will always be times where things match up. Technically, it's not false that an egg or broom can stand up on the equinox, but it's false to believe they can only happen on an equinox.
You just hear some of those things. It's like the wives' tales that we do in the wintertime about the persimmon seeds and the woolly worms, and they really have no bearing on what the weather does. Now, there may be circumstances in which they happen to match up, and somebody might say, oh, see, the woolly worms. But if you've ever spent enough time trying to stand an egg up or a broom up, you'll discover that it's not just on the equinox. You can do it anytime. You do have to have patience, though.
And again, today is the winter solstice. Still ahead, Carthage girls basketball tries to stretch its winning streak to 3 games, and Webb City boys basketball hosts Seneca. John Dales has highlights from both of those games and more up next in sports.
The Chevy that's right for you. The
Carthage girls basketball enters this evening on a 2-game win streak after beating Joplin and Nevada. The Tigers' opponent, Ray Peck, has won 4 of its last 5 contests. Carthage girls hoops at home tonight. Tigers' opponent, Ray Peck, both of them playing well recently. Second quarter, Tigers down 2, but Lauren Choate hits a 3 to give her team the lead. Tigers enter halftime down by 9. Work to do in the second half. Third quarter now, Lexi Youngblood pulls the trigger from 3. She connects. That trims the deficit down from 12 to 9. A couple minutes later, Maggie Boyd with a nice crossover into a 3. That's good as well. Lead cut down to just 6. We'd go to the fourth tied, but in the final quarter, Ray Peck finishing very strong. Peyton Johnson hits a corner 3 to put the Panthers back in the lead. Next possession, Sarai Clark gets fouled and hits the shot through contact. Ray Peck, too much for Carthage to handle tonight. Lady Tigers fall at home 49-42. Webb City boys basketball also in action tonight. Cardinals coming off a dominant performance at home their last time out when they beat Cassville by 38 points, 81-43 last Friday night. Webb City Cardinal boys basketball at home tonight against Seneca. Their first basketball matchup against each other in 11 years. First quarter, Gabe Johnson passes out to Eli Pace. He knocks down the 3. Great game from him tonight. We'll tell you about it in a bit. Cardinals leading by big 18-2, but Seneca clawing its way back in. Ethan Altix into the 3. Indians down by 5. Second quarter, Pace gets it again and hits the jumper for another 3. He finishes with 20 and 8 assists. Cardinals still lead by 8 at half. Never gets closer. Pace to Baranduda for 3. He finishes every game this season with double digits. And check this out. Webb goes up big. There's Holton Keith getting the 3 as well. He goes for one more. Webb has never dropped a home game against Seneca. That streak stays alive tonight. Cardinals win big, 88-58. And yeah, both teams, Cardinals playing very well right now. Indians have come into this game with a lot of, a lot of good playing time as well. But Webb City just too strong tonight.
All right, still a lot of season ahead for both
Definitely.
teams. We'll be right back.
Today's is the most wonderful time to drive.
Hey, don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. You can get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone. Doesn't cost a thing. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for KOAM Skywatch weather app. There are a couple of types of people during the holiday season, those who love eggnog and those who hate it. But for one group of students in Moorhead, Minnesota, it was all about who could drink it the fastest. 7 students partook in their school's annual eggnog chugging contest today. The goal is to see who can chug a quart of the seasonal drink the fastest. Doesn't that sound great? The bragging rights ended up going to a 2-time champ, a 9th grader. His name's Jaden Hansen. Despite not being a fan of the drink, he says he still plans on defending his title once again next year. Eggnog drinkers, either of you?
Not huge, no. So maybe the fact that I don't like it would mean that I'm good at a chugging contest like that.
Maybe so.
Won't touch it.
You know, I'm sure I've had it, but it's been years.
Mm-hmm.
The name, I don't want to drink
I don't
anything.
like eggs.
It sounds awful.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't want to drink anything that's eggy or nuggy.
Exactly.
Although I do like eggs. All right, the weather.
Yeah, we got rain increasing, so if you are going to be out tonight into the morning hours, be careful on the roadways. They are going to be wet. 58 tomorrow, so we start to dry out a little bit during the afternoon. 66 on Saturday. Rain back in Christmas Eve, so a wet Christmas.
Final sports notes.
NFL action tonight. I mentioned it in our earlier broadcast. The Saints playing the Rams. The Rams get a win, so they're in prime position for that playoff spot, that wild card playoff spot. Ever since Matt Stafford's come back, they've looked very good.
A lot of wild card spots still up for grabs in both the NFC and the AFC.
Yeah, that third wild card spot's really changed the way that the NFL season has gone. A lot more teams in contention.
That's for sure. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show at 5 a.m. and let's make it a great tomorrow.